Chapter 6, The Space-Born. Emerald Tablet 4, Astral Travel and the Merkaba. And Thoth said, List ye, O man, to the voice of wisdom. List to the voice of Thoth the Atlantean. Freely I give to thee of my wisdom, gathered from the time and space of this cycle, master of mysteries, son of the morning, living forever, a child of the light, shining with brightness, star of the morning. Thoth is referring to the cyclical rise and fall of civilizations, just as the Mayans believed that there have already been 4 worlds, and that we are moving into the 5th world as we now enter the age of Aquarius. And Thoth said, Thoth, the teacher of men, is of all. Long time ago, I in my childhood lay 'neath the stars on long buried Atlantis, dreaming of mysteries far above men. Then in my heart grew there a great longing to conquer the pathway that led to the stars. Year after year I sought after wisdom, seeking new knowledge, following the way, until at last my soul, in great travail, broke from its bondage and bounded away. The above statement refers to astral projection, also known as an out-of-body experience. The configuration of the star tetrahedron is formed within the first 8 cells of life and remains fixed at the base of the spine throughout one's life, known in esoteric knowledge of ancient Egypt as the Merkaba. Mer equals light, Ka equals spirit, Ba equals body. The star tetrahedron also models the energetic body of the human being, the blending of heaven and earth, male and female. The tetrahedron is ubiquitous throughout nature because the 64 tetrahedron grid is the structure of the vacuum, the fabric of space. This is also the basis for the Jewish Star of David. It actually has nothing to do with stars in the sky. It's the inner star. This symbol can be found on glyphs in Egypt. Thoth is depicted with this symbol in his left hand in the emerald tablets of Thoth. See a picture of the Merkaba on this Instagram post. Thoth appears to have mastered the use of the Merkaba. Historically, the Merkaba has been viewed as a chariot or vehicle that allows a person to ascend into higher worlds or descend into lower worlds. In actuality, however, the Merkaba is much more than a vehicle that escorts people to different worlds. It's a primal pattern attributed with creating all things and all universes, visible and invisible. For more information, read The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, Volumes 1 and 2 by Junvalo Melchizedek. In the Bible, quote, in the Bible there is reference to Ezekiel and the wheels by which Ezekiel ascended into heaven. This was the Merkaba. In the Torah there is reference to the Merkaba, Merkava as it is spelled in Hebrew, which has 2 different meanings. One meaning is chariot, which is a vehicle. The other is the throne of God. When the 2 definitions are combined, the true meaning comes to life. In ancient Egypt, this primal pattern was called the Merkaba. It was actually 3 words, not 1. Mer meant a kind of light that rotated within itself. Ka means spirit, in this case referring to the human spirit. Ba meant the human body, though it could also mean the concept of reality that spirit holds. And so, the entire world of ancient Egypt referred to a rotating light that would take the spirit and the body from one world into another. Thoth and civilizations. And Thoth said, "Free was I from the bondage of earth men. Free from the body, I flashed through the night. Unlocked at last for me was the star space. Free was I from the bondage of the night. Now to the end of space sought I wisdom, far beyond knowledge of finite man. Far into space my soul traveled freely, into infinity's circle of light. Strange beyond knowledge were some of the planets, great and gigantic beyond dreams of men. Yet found I law in all of its beauty, working through and among them as here among men. Flashed forth through my soul through infinity's beauty, far through space I flew with my thoughts. Rested I there on a planet of beauty. Strains of harmony filled all the air. Shapes there were, moving in order, great and majestic as stars in the night, mounting in harmony, ordered equilibrium, symbols of the cosmic, like unto law. Many the stars I passed in my journey, many the races of men on their worlds, some reaching high as stars of the morning, some falling low in the blackness of night, each and all of them struggling upward, gaining the heights and plumbing the depths, moving at times in realms of brightness, living through darkness, gaining the light. Know, O man, that light is thine heritage. Know that darkness is only a veil. Sealed in thine heart is brightness eternal, waiting the moment of freedom to conquer, waiting to rend the veil of the night. Some I found who had conquered the ether, free of space were they, while yet they were men. Using the force that is the foundation of all things, far in space constructed they a planet, drawn by the force that flows through the all, condensing, coalescing the ether into forms that grew as they willed. Thoth had come across men and civilizations so advanced that they had mastered control over the fabric of space-time. He, traversing the universe in speeds unimaginable, encountered falling and ascending civilizations. He finds beauty and harmony in faraway worlds. This is a direct reference to a Type 2 civilization which is able to build a Dyson sphere. Type of civilizations. According to Russian astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev, civilizations can be separated into classifications according to their energetic consumption and disposal. For example, humans eat dead plants and meats which sustain our energetic needs. Therefore, according to Kardashev, we are a Type 0 civilization and we have not even made it onto his scale. In other words, Kardashev's scale categorizes humans in most lowly type of civilization. There are three main types of civilizations that exist according to Nikolai Kardashev. These types have been arranged into a scale called the Kardashev scale and arranged according to how advanced they are at harnessing and utilizing energy. Additionally, others have added 2 extra classifications to the end of Kardashev's scale to make room for more possibilities. The types of Kardashev civilizations are called Type 1, Type 2, Type 3, Type 4, and Type 5. Interestingly enough, these types of civilizations match with Thoth's descriptions of the various levels he witnessed as he traveled throughout the universe. Here's an excerpt about the types of civilizations taken from Futurism. The Kardashev Scale Explained. Type 1. This type of civilization consists of species who can harness energy from a neighboring star. These beings gather and store the energy from the star to provide sustenance for a growing population. Abilities these kinds of civilizations might possess would include having control over earthquakes, volcanoes, and the weather. Even though these feats may be difficult for our society to achieve, according to this scale, these are just basic and primitive levels of control. It is estimated that human beings may be able to become a Type 1 civilization within the next 100 years. Type 2. A Type 2 civilization consists of beings who can actually harness the power of an entire star. This means that they can control the star and not just the energies around the star. Even in our Type 1 civilization, it has been hypothesized that we may be able to control a star by a device called the Dyson sphere. This device will be used to encompass an entire star and then gather most, if not all, of the star's energy before sending it to our planet for later use. A different method might be able to create a gigantic reactor that can harness the star's energy, that is, if our race has mastered fusion power. Yet another method might involve utilizing nearby gas giants for their hydrogen. A Type 2 civilization would be extremely powerful and cannot be compared to anything we currently know. If we were to become a Type 2 civilization, however, we would have some amazing abilities. For instance, if an object the size of our moon was on a course to crash into Earth, we could vaporize it out of existence. We could even move our planet out of the object's way. In fact, we could move another planet into its path, creating a shield that protects the Earth from impact. Amazing, right? That kind of energy can make our civilization immune to extinction. Type 3. In a Type 3 civilization, their species becomes a master race. They know everything there is to know about energy. To become this type of civilization, humans will be required to go through hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, biological and mechanical. It would be reasonable to think that in future generations, when humans reach this stage, they may be much different than the humans we know and love today. These types of humans may include cyborgs, which are cybernetic beings that consist of biological and robotic body parts. Humans as we know them today may even become a subspecies in that kind of society. In all likelihood, wholly biological humans would probably be seen as inferior, unevolved, or even disabled by their cyborg counterparts. How might this kind of civilization work? It is speculated that there might be millions of cyborgs and robots capable of self-replicating, making it possible for them to colonize entire galaxies, moving from one star to the next. If they built Dyson spheres to encapsulate each star, then they could create a massive network to send energy back to their home planet or other planets if needed. They would not be without perceivable complications, however, because the laws of physics would constrain them. Unless they developed a warp drive or mastered wormhole teleportation, which are only theoretical at this time, they would be limited. Type 4. Kardashev did not believe that a species could achieve a Type 4 classification. He claimed that that kind of civilization would be too advanced. Others, however, speculated that a Type 4 civilization might be capable of harnessing the energy content of the entire universe, enabling them to traverse the accelerating expansion of space. These types of species might live even inside of black holes. Currently, we cannot even dare to dream what kinds of methods this type of civilization would use to harness and generate energy. Type 5. This is where God-like beings may exist. They would have the knowledge and means of manipulating the universe as they please. Humans are spaceborne. And Thoth said, outstripping in science they of all the races, mighty in wisdom, son of the stars. Long time I paused, watching their wisdom, saw them create from out of the ether cities, gigantic of rose and gold, formed forth from the primal element, base of all matter, the ether far flung. Far in the past they had conquered the ether, freed themselves from the bondage of toil, armed in their mind only a picture, and swiftly created it grew. Forth then my soul sped through the cosmos, seeing ever new things and old, learning that man is truly space-born, a son of the stars, a child of the stars, a son of the sun, a child of the stars. Know ye, O man, whatever from ye inhabit, surely it is one with the stars. The bodies are nothing but planets revolving around their central suns. When ye have gained the light of all wisdom, free shall ye be to shine in the ether. One of the suns that light outer darkness, one of the space-born grown into light. Just as the stars in time lose their brilliance, light passing from them into the great source, so, O man, the soul passes onward, leaving behind the darkness of night, formed from ye from the primal ether, filled with the brilliance that flows from the source. Bound by the ether coalesce around, yet ever it flames until at last it is free. Lift up your flame from out of the darkness, fly from the night, and ye shall be free. Traveled I through the space-time, knowing my soul was at last set free, knowing that now might I pursue wisdom, until at last I passed to a plane hidden from knowledge, known not to wisdom, extension beyond all that we know. Now, O man, when I had this knowing, happy my soul grew, for now I was free. Listen, ye space-born, list to my wisdom. Know ye not that ye too will be free? List ye again, O man, to my wisdom, that hearing ye too might live and be free. Not of the earth are ye earthy, but child of the infinite cosmic light. Know ye not, O man, of your heritage? Know ye not ye are truly the light? Son of the great sun, when ye gain wisdom, truly aware of your kinship with light. Now to ye I give knowledge, freedom to walk in the path I have trod, showing ye truly how by my striving I trod the path that leads to the stars. Hark ye, O man, and know of thy bondage. Know how to free thyself from the toils. Out of the darkness shall ye rise upward, one with the light and one with the stars. Follow ye ever the path of wisdom. Only by this can ye rise from above. Ever man's destiny leads him onward into the curves of the infinite all. Know ye, O man, that all space is ordered. Only by order are ye one with the all. Order and balance are the law of the cosmos. Follow, and ye shall be one with the all. He who would follow the pathway of wisdom, open must he be to the flower of life, extending his consciousness out from the darkness, flowing through time and space and the all. Learning that man is truly space-born, meaning we are children of an alien race. Thoth is saying that we are made of atoms. Our bodies are nothing but planets revolving. Thoth has made another direct reference to synchronizing with the universal consciousness in order to obtain knowledge and wisdom. And Thoth said, deep in the silence, first ye must linger, until at last ye are free from desire, free from the longing to speak in the silence. Conquer by silence the bondage of words, abstaining from eating until we have conquered desire for food, that is bondage of soul. Then lie ye down in the darkness, close ye your eyes from the rays of the light. Center thy soul force in the place of thine consciousness, shaking it free from the bonds of the night. Place in thy mind place the image thou desireth. Picture the place thou desireth to see. Vibrate back and forth with thy power. Loosen the soul from out of its night. Fiercely must thou shake with all thy power, until at last thy soul shall be free. Mighty beyond words is the flame of the cosmic, hanging in plains unknown to man. Mighty and balanced, moving in order, music of harmonies far beyond man. Speaking with music, singing with color, flame from the beginning of eternity's all. Spark of the flame art thou, O my children, burning with color and living with music. List to the voice, and thou shalt be free. Consciousness free is fused with the cosmic, one with the order and law of the all. Knew ye not, man, that out of the darkness light shall flame forth, a symbol of all? Pray ye this prayer for attaining of wisdom. Pray for the coming of light to the all. Mighty spirit of light that shines through the cosmos, draw my flame closer in harmony to thee. Lift up my fire from out of the darkness, magnet of fire that is one with the all. Lift up my soul, thou mighty and potent, child of the light, turn not away. Draw me in power to melt in thy furnace, one with all things and all things in one. Fire of the life strain, and one with the brain. When ye have freed thy soul from its bondage, know that for ye the darkness is gone. Ever through space ye may seek wisdom. Bound not be fetters forged in the flesh. Onward and upward into the morning, free flash, O soul, to the realms of light. Move thou in order, move thou in harmony. freely shalt move with the children of light. Seek ye and know ye my key of wisdom. Thus, O man, ye shall surely be free. Chapter 7. The Dweller of Unal. Emerald Tablet 5. And Thoth said, Oft dream I of buried Atlantis, lost in the ages that have passed into night. Eon on eon thou existed in beauty, a light shining through the darkness of night. Mighty in power, ruling the earth-born, Lord of the earth in Atlantis' day. This reference to a sunken and lost Atlantis confirms Plato's account of a sunken Atlantean city. Atlantis was a global civilization. And Thoth said, King of the nations, master of wisdom, light through sun tall, keeper of the way, dwelt in his temple, the master of Unal, light of the earth in Atlantis' day. Master he from a cycle beyond us, living in bodies as one among men, not as the earthborn, he from beyond us, son of a cycle advanced beyond men. Know ye, O man, that Horlet, the master, was never one with the children of men. According to Thoth, they grew cloned avatar bodies and transferred their consciousness into them. And Thoth said, Far in the past time when Atlantis first grew as a power, appeared there one with the key of wisdom, showing the way of light to all. Showed he to all men the path of attainment, way of the light that flows among men, mastering darkness, leading the man soul upward to heights that were one with the all, divided the kingdoms he into sections. 10 were they, ruled by the children of men. Upon another built he a temple, built but not by the children of men. Out of the ether called he its substance, molded and formed by the power of Tolan. Into the forms he built with his mind. Mile upon mile it covered the island, space upon space it grew in its might. Black, yet not black, but dark like the space-time. Deep in its heart, the essence of light. Swiftly, the temple grew into being, molded and shaped by the word of the dweller, called from the formless into a form. Thoth is talking about using vocal frequency and vibration to call matter into existence. This may sound like science fiction, but we have already began to duplicate this in what we call modern laboratories. Scientists have already discovered how to turn light into matter. And Thoth said, Builded he then within it great chambers, filled them with forms called forth from the ether, filled them with wisdom called forth by his mind. Formless was he within his temple, yet he was formed in the image of men, dwelling among them, yet not of them. Strange and far different was he from the children of men. Chose he then from among the people 3 who became his gateway. Chose he the 3 from the highest to become his links with Atlantis. Messengers they, who carried his counsel to the kings of the children of men. Brought he forth others and taught them wisdom. Teachers they to the children of men. Placed he them on the island of Undal to stand as teachers of light to men. Each of those who were thus chosen taught must he be for years 5 and 10. Only thus could he have understanding to bring light to the children of men. Thus there came into being the temple, a dwelling place for the master of men. I, Thoth, have ever sought wisdom. Searching in darkness and searching in light. Long in my youth I traveled the pathway, seeking ever new knowledge to gain, until after much striving, one of the three to me brought the light. Brought he to me the commands of the dweller, called me from the darkness into the light. Brought he me before the dweller, deep in the temple before the great fire. There on the great throne beheld I, the dweller, clothed with light and flashing with fire. Down I knelt before that great wisdom, feeling the light flowing through me in waves. Heard I then the voice of the dweller, O darkness, come into the light. Long have ye sought the pathway to light. Each soul on earth that loosens its fetters shall soon be made free from the bondage of night. Forth from the darkness have ye arisen. Closer approach the light of your goal. Here ye shall dwell as one of my children, keeper of records gathered by wisdom. Instrument thou of the light from beyond, ready by thou, made to do what is needed, preserver of wisdom through the ages of darkness, that shall come fast on the children of men. Live thee here and drink of all wisdom. Secrets and mysteries unto thee shall unveil. Then I answered the master of cycles, saying, O light that descended to men, give thou to me of thy wisdom, that I might be a teacher of men. Give thou of thy light, that I may be free. Spoke then to me again the master, age after age shall ye live through your wisdom. When o'er Atlantis the ocean waves roll, holding the light, thou hidden in darkness, ready to come whenever thou shalt call, go thee now and learn greater wisdom. Grow thou through light to infinity's all. Long then I dwelt in the temple of the dweller, until at last I was one with the light. Followed I then the path to the star plains, followed I then the pathway to light. Deep into earth's heart I followed the pathway, learning the secrets below as above, learning the pathway to the halls of Amenti, learning the law that balances the world. To earth's hidden chambers pierced I by my wisdom, deep through earth's crust into the pathway, hidden for ages from the children of men, unveiled before me, even ever more wisdom, until I reached a new knowledge. found that all is part of an all, great and yet greater than all that we know. Searched I infinity's heart through all the ages. Deep and yet deeper, more mysteries I found. Now as I look back through the ages, know I that wisdom is boundless. Ever grown greater through the ages, one with infinities greater than all. Light there was in ancient Atlantis, yet darkness too was hidden in all. Fell from the light into darkness some who had risen to heights among men. Proud they became because of their knowledge. Proud were they of their place among men. Deep delved they into the forbidden, opened the gateway that led to below. Sought they to gain ever more knowledge, but seeking to bring it up from below. He who descends below must have balance, else he is bound by lack of our light. Opened they then by their knowledge pathways forbidden to man, but in his temple, all seeing, the dweller lay in his aguanti, while through Atlantis his soul roamed free. Saw he the Atlanteans by their magic opening the gateway that would bring to earth a great woe. Fast fled his soul then back to his body. Up he arose from his aguanti, called he the three mighty messengers, gave the commands that shattered the world. Deep neath earth's crust to the halls of Amenti swiftly descended the dweller. Called he then on the powers of the seven lords, called he then on the powers the seven lords wielded, changed the earth's balance. Down sank Atlantis beneath the dark waves, shattered the gateway that had been opened, shattered the doorway that led below. All of the islands were shattered except Unal, and part of the island of the sons of the dweller. Preserved he them to be the teachers, lights on the path for those to come after, lights for the lesser children of men. Called he then I, Thoth, before him, gave me commands for all I should do, saying, Take thou, O Thoth, all of your wisdom, take all your records, take all your magic, go forth as a teacher of men, go forth, reserving the records, until in time light grows among men. Light shalt thou be all through the ages, hidden yet found by enlightened men. Over all earth give we ye power. Free thou to give or take it away. Gather thou now the sons of Atlantis, take them and flee to the people of the rock caves. Fly to the land of the children of Kim. Then I gathered the sons of Atlantis into the spaceship. I brought all my records, brought the records of sunken Atlantis. Gathered I all my powers, instruments many of mighty magic. Up then we rose on wings of the morning. High we arose above the temple, leaving behind the three and dweller deep in the halls neath the temple, closing the pathway to the lords of the cycles. Yet ever to him who has knowing. Open shall be the path to Amenti. Fast we fled then on the wings of the morning, fled to the land of the children of Kim. There by my power I conquered and ruled them. Raised I to light the children of Kim. Deep neath the rocks I buried my spaceship, waiting the time when man might be free. Over the spaceship erected a marker in the form of a lion, yet like unto man. There neath the image rests my spaceship, forth to be brought when need shall arise. Know ye, O man, that far in the future invaders shall come from out of the deep. Then awake, ye who have wisdom, bring forth my ship, and conquer with ease. Deep neath the image lies my secret. Search and find in the pyramid I built. Each to the other is the keystone, each the gateway that leads into life. Follow the key I leave behind me. Seek, and the doorway to life shall be thine. Seek thou in my pyramid, deep in the passage that ends in a wall. Use thou the key of the seven, and open to thee the pathway will fall. Now unto thee I have given my wisdom, now unto thee I have given my way. Follow the pathway, solve thou my secrets. Unto thee I have shown the way. The esoteric message in Tablet 5 is saying that the only way out is in. We must all take a journey to inner space, according to Thoth. Only then can we truly synchronize with the universal consciousness and break free from the illusion of the physical realm. Chapter 8. The Key of Magic. Emerald Tablet 6. In Tablet 6, Thoth exposes the fact that dark forces were already at work before he arrived on Earth. A real battle between dark and light, using magic spells to control the fate of the existing beings that were already here evolving on Earth. This epic tablet covers the power of uttered words backed by intent, and how the resulting frequency can have a direct effect on the ether of space-time itself. You have the power to alter the events inside your reality tunnel. And Thoth said, "Hark ye, O man, to the wisdom of magic. Hark the knowledge of powers forgotten. Long ago, in the days of the first man, warfare began between darkness and light. Men then as now were filled with both darkness and light. Long ago, in the days of the first man, warfare began between darkness and light. Men then as now were filled with both darkness and light, and while in some darkness held sway, in others light filled the soul. Age old in this warfare, the eternal struggle between darkness and light. Fiercely it is fought all through the ages, using strange powers hidden to man. Adepts has there been filled with the blackness, struggling always against the light. But others there are who, filled with brightness, have ever conquered the darkness of night. Wherever ye may be, in all ages and plain, surely ye shall know of the battle with the night." long ages ago, the sons of the morning, S-U-N, descending, found the world filled with night. There in that past began the struggle, the age-old battle, darkness and light. An adept is a person who is skilled or proficient at something. And Thoth said, and many in the time were so filled with darkness that only feebly flamed the light from the night. Some there were, masters of darkness, who sought to fill all with their darkness, sought to draw others into their night. Fiercely withstood they, the masters of brightness, fiercely fought they from the darkness of night, sought ever to tighten the fetters, the chains that bind men to the darkness of night. Used they always the dark magic, brought into men by the power of darkness, magic that enshrouded man's soul with darkness. Could these verses be the original source of the yin and yang concept? The theory of yin and yang is much more complicated than most people realize. Many people believe it's simply a comparison of opposites. Yet the yin-yang theory explains our dualistic universe. There are four main aspects of yin and yang. Aspect number one, yin and yang are opposites. This is the most popular aspect of yin and yang, and people easily understand the basics of this aspect. What they might not realize, however, is that the opposition of yin and yang is relative. For instance, spring is yin when compared to summer, but it is yang when compared to winter. Yin and yang are never static, but ever changing while maintaining balance. Here is something else you might find fascinating about the seasons and how they relate to yin and yang. Summer is known as the season that is yang within yang, while winter is known as the season that is yin within yin. Likewise, autumn is the season of yang within yin, while spring is the season of yin within yang. Aspect number two, yin and yang are interdependent. This means that yin cannot exist without yang, and yang cannot exist without yin. Their very existence depends on each other. Additionally, nothing is completely yin or completely yang, as demonstrated in the yin-yang symbol. Each contains an aspect of the other. For example, night cannot exist without day, and day cannot exist without night. Classic Asian literature states that yin creates yang, and yang activates yin. Aspect number three, yin and yang mutually consume each other. This means that when yin or yang become imbalanced, they can affect and weaken each other. Relative levels of yin and yang change constantly, and these changes are typically harmonious. If one gets too strong or too weak, however, it will imbalance the other. For example, if you place an ice cube, yin, into a cup of hot water, yang, the water becomes warm as it consumes the ice, causing each of them to lose their original state of being intensely yin or yang. Aspect number four, yin and yang can transform into each other. Because the relationship between yin and yang is dynamic, they can transform into each other. The transformation is never random and can only occur at the right moment. An example of how yin can transform into yang exists in the example I used above when speaking about the seasons. Winter, a yin season, transforms into spring, a yang season in comparison, at the right time of year. The principle of yin and yang dates back to the 3rd century BC, or even earlier. It is a fundamental concept in Chinese philosophy and culture. A cosmologist named Zhao Yin, or Cao Yin, helped make the concept popular when he theorized that life went through the 5 phases of water, fire, metal, wood, and earth, which continually interchanged according to the principles of yin and yang. To give you a better understanding of yin and yang, I will list the most common attributes below. Attributes of yin: gender, feminine; color, black; quality, dark; direction, north; element, water; activity, passive; movement, still; inner sense, intuition; phase, earth; planet, moon; temperature, cold; age, old; numerology, even numbers; topography, valleys; status, poor; texture, soft. Qualities: yin is the spirit of all things. It is the creative, downward-seeking, and submissive. During the course of a day, it reaches its height at 4 a.m., and over the course of a year, it is highest at the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. Attributes of yang: gender, masculine; color, white; quality, dark, or quality, light; direction, south; element, fire; activity, active; movement, moving; inner sense, logic; phase, fire; planet, sun; temperature, hot; age, young; numerology, odd numbers; topography, mountains; status, rich; texture, hard. Qualities: yang is the energy of all things. It is the enlightening, strong, dominant, and creation itself. Downward seeking and submissive. During the course of a day, it reaches its height at 12 p.m. and over the course of a year, it's highest at the summer solstice. This was a typo. It's upward seeking and authoritative or dominant. If you want to learn more about yin and yang, go to www.ancient.eu and search yin and yang. And Thoth said, banded together as in order, brothers of darkness, they through the ages, antagonists they to the children of men, walked they always secret and hidden, found yet not found by the children of men. Forever they walked and worked in darkness, hiding from the light in the darkness of night. Silently, secretly, use they their power, enslaving and binding the soul of men. Dark is the way of the dark brothers travel, dark of the darkness, not of the night. Traveling over earth, they walk through man's dreams. Power they have gained from the darkness around them, to call other dwellers from out of their plane, in ways that are dark and unseen by man. Into man's mind space reach the dark brothers. Mighty are they in the forbidden knowledge. Forbidden because it is one with the night. Surrender not your soul to the brothers of darkness. Keep thy face ever turned towards the light. List ye, O man, to he who comes to you, but weigh in the balance if his words be of light. For many there are who walk in dark brightness, and yet are not the children of light. When one looks at the current state of the world today, one can clearly see that the world is led by the Dark Brothers. These days, we call them secret societies with elitist agendas. With their control over countries, corporations, military, and media, they get into man's mind space, as Thoth so eloquently stated. And Thoth said, "Now I give unto thee the knowledge known to the masters, the knowing that conquers the dark fears. Use this, the wisdom I give thee. Master thou shalt be of the brothers of night. When unto thee comes a feeling, drawing thee nearer to the darker gate, examine thine heart, and find if the feeling thou hast come from within. If thou shalt find the darkness thine own thoughts, banish them forth from the place in thy mind. Send through thy body a wave of vibration, irregular first and regular second, repeating time after time until free. Start the wave force in thy brain center. Direct it in waves from thine head to thy foot. But if thou findest thine heart is not darkened, be sure that a force is directed to thee. Only by knowing can thou overcome it. Only by wisdom can thou hope to be free. Knowledge brings wisdom, and wisdom is power. Attain, and ye shall have power over all. Seek ye first a place bound by darkness. Place ye a circle about thee. Stand erect in the midst of the circle. Use thou this formula, and you shalt be free. Raise thou thine hands to the dark space above thee. Close thou thine eyes, and draw in the light. Thoth gives specific instructions on what to do in order to discover the light of knowledge and universal consciousness. Call to the spirit of light through the space-time, using these words, and thou shalt be free. Fill thou my body, O Spirit of life. Fill thou my body with spirit of light. Come from the flower that shines through the darkness. Come from the halls where the 7 lords rule. These 7 lords represent 7 chakra systems in the body. Each is tuned to a specific frequency. To learn them is to find a way to power over one's limitations of consciousness. Study these 7 chakras in order to develop an enabling spirit that will guide you to higher levels of consciousness and knowledge. Root chakra. The root chakra is located in the midline at the base of the spine in the tailbone area and represents our foundational feelings of being grounded and supported. Issues in this chakra often relate to survival and focus on food, shelter, and money. Sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is located in the midline of the lower abdomen, roughly 2 inches below the navel and 2 inches interior to the skin. Issues in this chakra often relate to a sense of abundance, well-being, creativity, pleasure, and sexuality. Solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is located in the midline above the belly button and just below the sternum. This chakra often relates to willpower, control, and anything to do with the idea and conviction of the self. Therefore, issues with self-worth, self-confidence, and self-esteem often arise when the solar plexus chakra is out of balance. Heart chakra. The heart chakra is located in the midline just above the heart. This chakra affects our ability to love, experience joy, and find inner peace. Throat chakra. The throat chakra is located in the middle of the throat. This chakra affects our self-expression related to feelings and truth. Third eye chakra. The third eye chakra is located on the forehead and between the eyebrows. This chakra affects our intuition, imagination, wisdom, and our ability to think and make sound decisions. Crown chakra. The crown chakra is located at the highest point of the head. It allows us to connect with our spiritual natures and higher energies. Emotions related to this chakra include feelings about inner and outer beauty and bliss. The following statement reveals the most important lesson in the Thoth tablets. Perhaps it is the most important lesson in this entire book. Frequency and vibration have a direct effect on our reality and can even alter current and future events. Thoth tells the reader to speak the following names out loud: Utanus, Quartus, Chiatal, Goyana, Huertal, Simvita, Ardal. These names are not the names of real people. They are frequencies that, when spoken aloud, send out specific vibrational frequencies that have a direct effect on our brain, which in turn have an effect on your personal reality tunnel. Thoth instructs that you are to use this technique as needed, meaning that there is not a permanent, long-lasting effect, but that the effect may be temporary and may need to be repeated as needed. Those influenced later by Thoth, if not incarnate by Thoth, no less than Pythagoras and Newton, discovered how to acquiesce the power of vibrational knowledge. Iamblichus wrote that Pythagoras extended his ears and fixed his intellect in the sublime symphonies of the world, he alone hearing and understanding, as it appears, the universal harmony and consonance of the spheres and the stars that are moved through them, and which produce a fuller and more intense melody than anything affected by mortal sounds. And he called the medicine which is obtained through music by the name of purification. The book is The Life of Pythagoras by Thomas Taylor. Newton experienced an ethereal plane, also known as the astral plane or the astral plane, a ubiquitous supple matter lighter than air, providing a pathway for receiving vibrations. And Thoth said, "By their names I call them to aid me, free me, and save me from the darkness of night. Utanus, Quartas, Chiatal, and Goyana, Huertal, Simveta, Ardal. By their names I implore thee, free me from darkness, and fill me with light. See ye not that the names have the power to free by vibration the letters that bind, the fetters that bind? Use them at need to free thou thine brother, so that he too may come forth from the night. In these passages, Thoth instructs that by calling aloud the names of the seven lords, that the power of vibrations will empower the believer to be free from the powers that prohibit him from the attainment of knowledge through higher consciousness. There's a quote: "I'm not teaching you how to fight. I am teaching you how to control evil." That's really what we're doing here. The Mozart effect on seizures. The music of Mozart is the subject of intense scrutiny to see if it has other properties. The April 2001 edition of Journal of the Royal Society of Medicine assessed the possible health benefits of the music of Mozart. John Jenkins played Sonata K448 to patients with epilepsy and found a decrease in epileptiform activity. The research looked at 29 people with severe epilepsy. Their brain waves were measured as they listened to the music, and 23 people showed reduced epileptic activity. In one patient, the epileptic activity dropped from being present 2/3 of the time to just 1/5 of the time. In two other patients who experienced epileptic activity 90% of the time, this dropped to 50%. Whatever the effect of the music is, it isn't simply related to enjoying the music, because many of the people were asleep during these tests. The effect stopped when the music stopped. So in order to assess the longer term effect, an 8-year-old girl was played music for 10 minutes in every hour. Her seizures fell from 9 in the first hour to 1 in the last hour. On the second day, she had just 2 seizures in 8 hours. Professor John Jenkins from the University of London, author of the paper The Mozart Effect, thinks the music is in some way affecting the electrical impulses of the brain. Cymatics. Is matter affected by outside influences? The study of cymatics, as well as how frequencies help to create what we perceive as matter, expands our understanding of such possible connections. Cymatics is the study of sound and vibration made visible, typically on the surface of a plate, diaphragm, or membrane. Cymatics history. The provenance of cymatics is traceable at least 1,000 years ago to African tribes who used the taut skin of drums sprinkled with small grains to divine future events. The drum is one of oldest known musical instruments, and the effects of sand on a vibrating drumhead have probably been known for millennia. Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci noticed that vibrating a wooden table on which dust lay created various shapes. Quote, "I say then that when a table is struck in different places, the dust that is upon it is reduced to various shapes of mounds and tiny hillocks. The dust descends from the hypotenuse of these hillocks, enters beneath their base, and raises itself again around the axis of the point of the hillock." End quote. Galileo Galilei described scraping a brass plate with a chisel and noticed a long row of fine streaks parallel and equidistant from one another, presumably caused by the brass fillings dancing on the surface of the plate and finding safe haven in a series of parallel nodal striations. Robert Hooke was an English scientist of Oxford University who contributed to many scientific fields, including mathematics, optics, mechanics, and astronomy. Hooke devised a simple apparatus in 1680 consisting of a glass plate covered with flour that he induced a response with a violin bow. It is not known whether Hooke had access to the notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci or Galileo, or if he devised the apparatus independently. Ernst Chladni, a German musician and scientist. Ernst Chladni is sometimes called the father of acoustics. Even though he had access to Hooke's work, Chladni is the one history decided to acknowledge for his study of this class of phenomena. Chladni used a sand-strewn brass plate which was excited by a violin bow. He found that he was able to create a larger number of archetypal geometric patterns, which came to be known as Chladni figures. From Chladni's pioneering book, Discoveries in the Theory of Sound, we learn that Chladni demonstrated this seemingly magical phenomenon all over Europe and even had an audience with Napoleon. The French leader was so impressed he sponsored a competition with the French Academy of Sciences to acquire a mathematical explanation of the sand patterns. Sophie Germain, a young French woman, won Napoleon's 3,000 franc prize in 1816. She wrote a mathematical explanation involving wave-like functions to describe how sound created the geometric patterns. The inference was that sound waves were responsible for creating areas of vibration and areas of stillness on the surface of the plate. It was believed that the crest of the sound caused certain areas of the plate to vibrate, while the corresponding trows caused other areas to remain still. The sand gathered in the still areas and is considered an important milestone in launching the science of acoustics. The term wave has historically been used to describe sound, even though it is a misnomer, since sound does not in fact travel in waves. Sound propagates spherically or in beams, depending upon frequency. For example, at frequencies audible to humans, 20 Hz to 2000 Hz, the sonic envelope is almost perfectly spherical in its form, whereas at frequencies audible to bats and dolphins above 100,000 hertz, sound propagates in search-like beams, the beam angle being dependent on frequency. Higher frequencies cause a reduction in beam angle. This information is accredited to What is Cymatics by John Stewart and Annalise Reed. Michael Faraday. Michael Faraday, the English chemist and physicist, studied what he termed crispations, contradictions or curling effects. His diary records many experiments in which he studied the effects of vibration on water, oil, and fine grains. Faraday was fascinated by these phenomena and always sensible of good demonstrations to his audiences at the Royal Institution. Faraday discovered that after putting a candle exactly below a plate and holding a screen of tracing paper an inch above it, the picture given was beautiful. Each heap of sand gave a sliver of light at its focus, which twinkled, appeared, and disappeared with the heat continually as it rose and fell. At the corners, a fainter light appeared, and then, as the screen was nearer or farther, lines of light in 2 or even 4 directions appeared constant. This was a brilliant spectacle, easily visible to a large audience. Faraday discovered the first physical phenomenon linking light and magnetism. John William Strutt, or Lord Rayleigh, was an English physicist. Strutt earned the Nobel Prize for Physics. He discovered surface waves in seismology, known as Rayleigh waves. His major work, Theory of Sound, Volumes 1 and 2, includes research on the vibrations of plates and is considered an important work. In it, he explored model phenomena in depth, now part of the emergent science of cymatics. Margaret Watts. Margaret Watts Hughes lived in Wales and experimented with a device she invented in 1885, which she named the iodophone. The iodophone was comprised of a wooden resonating chamber which opened to an end covered by a rubber membrane. That rubber membrane was strewn with sand and other media. She would sing into a tube that was connected with the resonating chamber, which created patterns and figures by using her voice. People speculate that she may have been influenced by Michael Faraday's work because, like him, she called her patterns crispations. Like Faraday, she was enamored by beauty of the figures, relating them to her reality. In an article she wrote that stated, "I have gone on singing into shape these peculiar forms, and stepping out of doors have seen their parallels in the flowers, ferns, and trees around me. And again, as I have watched the little heaps in the formation of the floral figures gather themselves up and shoot out their petals, just as a flower springs from the swollen bud, the hope has come to me that these humble experiments may afford some suggestions in regard to nature's production of her own beautiful forms. Mary Desiree. Mary Desiree Walker was a professor of physics at the Royal Free Hospital Medical School in London. She became fascinated by Chladni's work and recreated all the forms he discovered, taking his work to a higher level. In her book, Chladni Figures, A Study in Symmetry, includes details of her novel method of exciting plates employing solid carbon dioxide chips. She approached the subject of Chladni's figures with scientific rigor, and her work represents a rich resource for students of this branch of acoustics, including some of the mathematical equations that describe the phenomena. Hans Jenny. Cymatics comes from Greek meaning wave or billow in describing the periodic effects that sound and vibration has on matter. The term was coined by Hans Jenny, a Swiss medical doctor and pioneer of the philosophical school known as anthroposophy. The generic term for this field of science is the study of modal phenomena, cymatics. Cymatics Volume 1 by Hans Jenny. His 2 volumes are rich resources of cymatics imagery, which he observed and described in great detail. Although leaving scientific and mathematical explanations to scientists who would come after him, Jenny invented the tonoscope, a device similar to Watt's-Hughes iodophone, but including an electromechanical transducer to excite the membrane. He was also the first to suggest that such a device may one day assist deaf individuals to acquire speech. Jenny also excited steel plates using piezo crystal elements driven by an electronic oscillator, devices not available to Watt's-Hughes and other acoustic pioneers of the past. The piezo crystal transducers were able to excite the plates in a wide range of frequencies, including high audible frequencies, resulting in the formation of complex sand pattern forms. Alexander Lauterwasser is a German researcher and photographer basing his work on that of Hans Jenny. Lauterwasser is interested in the phenomenology and typography of the shapes formed by the effects of sound on water, and comparing the shapes with those that occur in nature, such as in the morphogenesis of creatures and the archetypal forms of inanimate matter. His 2002 book, Water Sound Images, set new standards in cymatic imagery. Thomas J. Mitchell is a Scottish musician who studied the ornately carved ceiling of the Roslin Chapel for 27 years. Roslin Chapel near Edinburgh, famous for its lavish carvings and its association with the Knights Templar, also contained a mystery in the form of 4 sections of arches containing cymatic-like designs carved into the faces of 215 rectilinear cubes. Mitchell discovered that the patterns related to musical notes to be read in a specific order, postulating that the builders of the chapel had access to Chladni-style plates and bow technology and deliberately encoded the melody into the cubes. His son, Stuart Mitchell, orchestrated the music thus revealed and named it the Rosslyn Motet. It was played on traditional medieval musical instruments in the chapel in September 2006. John Stuart Reid. John Stuart Reid is an acoustics engineer who carried out cymatics research in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid of Egypt in 1997. Reid published his research results in Egyptian Sonics 17, containing photographs of the cymatic patterns that formed on a PVC, polyvinyl chloride, membrane he stretched over the sarcophagus. The experiment was designed to study the resonant behavior of the granite from which the sarcophagus is fashioned. Since many of the images strongly resemble ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, Reid postulated that the inherent resonances of granite, when radiated as a complex sound field during the crafting of the stone, might have influenced the development of hieroglyphic writing. Reid subsequently began experimenting with instrumentation that would enable an accurate visual equivalent of sound to be created from any audible sound, resulting in the invention of the cymoscope. Reid worked with American design engineer Eric Larson to engineer the instrument to Pythagorean proportions. Reid recognized that the wave model of sound is incomplete because it does not characterize the spherical space form of audible sound. Cymoglyph images created on the cymoscope are considered to be analogs of sound and music, since the geometries they contain represent mathematical correlates of the musical pitches that cause the pattern to form on the instrument's membrane. One of the many potential applications being explored for the cymoscope is the decipherment of dolphin language in collaboration with SpeakDolphin.com, a Florida-based organization formed for this purpose. Sonic Age by John Reid is quoted for this information. Secrets of the Anunnaki explained by modern science. The Anunnaki of ancient Sumer and contemporaries of the earliest Egyptian dynasties taught humans the secrets of levitation or anti-gravity. You can see this Anunnaki giant in above Sumerian cylinder scroll that has been analyzed dozens of times by scholars, but the secret eludes them. How are we to look at this? Scientifically speaking, 4 things are necessary to reverse the magnetic polarity in an object. Number 1, magnetic field generator. The Anunnaki king is sitting on that device. Notice the lions on the box facing opposite each other. That represents the opposing magnetic fields. Number 2, field amplifier. That's the technology device in the Anunnaki king's hand. He uses that to control and modulate the magnetic field. 3, cymatic frequency generator. The cymatics are the most important. You must place the cymatic frequency directly on top of the object that you want to levitate. You can generate a cymatic frequency using a home stereo speaker and amp. Research cymatics in your free time. And number 4, a loud whistle. Notice the 2 men whistling behind the man lifting the stone table with one hand. The whistling tone interacts with the magnetic field and the cymatic frequency, and the atoms in the stone table reverse polarity, greatly reducing the table's gravitational field. If you have been following my page for a while, you would have seen a post that I made about my visit to the Coral Castle in Miami, Florida. It was built in modern times by a 4'11" man named Edward Leedskalnin. Edward Leedskalnin. He claimed to have rediscovered the secrets of ancient Egyptian stone building and stone levitation. He worked alone and could often be heard whistling. Edward used a very similar device shown above in this post. All matter in the third dimension can be completely manipulated because matter is only a frequency condensed to a slower vibration. Everything is vibration, sound and frequency emanating from electromagnetic waves. In the beginning was the Word, which equals frequency and vibration. Let that knowledge marinate. Now that we did an extensive review of how frequencies help to create our reality, let's look at how words backed by conscious intent also have a direct effect on the world around us. The power of words and thoughts were connected to the power of human consciousness by Professor Masaru Emoto of Japan. In this century, he researched the physical effects of words, prayer, and music on the crystalline structure of water. Water that was exposed to positive intentions like love and gratitude have crystalline structures far more balanced and pleasing than water exposed to dark and negative phrases. His research on the power of consciousness to control the molecular structure of water is significant, forcing us to realize that it is possible for our thoughts to influence human beings, since humans are, as a whole, almost 65% water. Furthermore, our hearts and brains are 73% water, and our lungs are 83% water. Controlling our heart rhythms create a more sustained blood pressure level. If our brains are the seat of our consciousness, then ought we not be better equipped to develop higher levels of consciousness? Regular breathing through our lungs guarantees successful meditation, thus brings us closer to our own inner balance. Dr. Masaru Emoto's work illustrates that by the power of our own introspection, we are capable of altering our understanding and acceptance of our world. His research provides the evidence that we can positively influence ourselves and everything around us simply by selecting words of power. Then we have a couple quotes here. First one: when an electron vibrates, it attempts to radiate by producing a field, which is a mixture of a retarded wave into the future and an advanced wave into the past. This energy or wave heads off into the future towards us until it encounters an electron, us, which can absorb the energy being carried by the field. End quote. Next, definition. Radiation generally means the transmission of waves, objects, or information from a source into a surrounding medium or destination. Light is electromagnetic radiation of any wavelength. And scripture. 1 John chapter 1 verse 5. This then is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you, that God is light,